Virgin Voyages is changing how they are going to be doing their pricing structure, and honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about it. So while I currently, unfortunately, am not on a cruise, in fact, I'm in Des Moines, Iowa. I don't know, I'm near Iowa State. I figured I wanted to bring this video to you guys because I was actually shocked. About 3 hours ago, Virgin made a press release, made an announcement that said they no longer are going to be having the all-inclusive model like they normally do, but in fact, they're going to start breaking their cruise fares up into 3 separate types of fares. Understand that this actually probably is very on brand for them, considering the fact that they have Virgin Atlantic. So it would make sense to have a pricing structure that's very similar to, you know, what an airline would look like. But it still feels a little strange. I think the biggest thing that feels strange is the tips, which I'm gonna go over in just a second. So all of this is going into effect on October 7th, which is like not that many days away. And I don't know if there was rumblings about this beforehand, but let me break down the 3 tiers for you so that you know kind of what we're dealing with here. The first category is going to be basic, next is going to be the essentials, and then the third is going to be the premium. This one is going to be what they are painting as more of like a value, but less flexible ticket. So what they mean by that is that if you need to change this ticket for any reason, if you need to sail on a different date, or let's say the second passenger that you have with you is unable to go, kind of too bad, too sad, you bought the value ticket, and so unfortunately, no changes are going to be allowed to this particular one. Now, this is still going to include basic Wi-Fi, 1 device per person, which is great because, I mean, that's one thing that Virgin was known for, that they were, you know, able to give their Wi-Fi to people without it having to be an additional cost, because let's be real, we're all connected at all times. A world where there's no Wi-Fi would be very scary, but also really relaxing. Now, pre-booking dining, this is where it gets a little squirrely for me, and where people who maybe don't understand Virgin and how it works, and they go to buy that value ticket might not understand. They are only giving you 15 days prior to sailing to book dinner reservations. Yikes. Anyone who has done Virgin knows how difficult it can be to get that restaurant that you want to get. And so I just feel like the people who are buying this are not going to understand that, and they're going to miss out on the best restaurants because the other ones allow you way more time to book. Now, with this cruise fare, you are not getting any kind of drink or bar tab, and you are also not getting any kind of like priority pre-booking service with this ticket. Essentials is probably what is closest to what Virgin is currently offering. So with Essentials, you kind of already know what this looks like if you've sailed Virgin, but I'm still going to go through it for those of you who haven't. In this one, you're going to get the classic Wi-Fi. Now, in the other package, you're getting the basic Wi-Fi, which basically the only difference between the two is that the basic one doesn't allow for video calling. This one, the classic Wi-Fi, allows for video calling. Still does not allow for streaming, but it does allow for messaging, social media, and faster browsing on the Wi-Fi. When it comes to pre-booking your dining, you get 45 days. That is 30 days sooner than the basic fare cruise fare rather. And so I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference. So that alone is kind of like worth it if you are really interested and you're a foodie and you want to make sure you get into all the restaurants. This particular ticket, you are allowed date changes and you are allowed name changes on sailor number 2 through number 4. So your primary sailor still has to remain the same. That name cannot be changed, but 2 through 4, you are allowed to change the name on them. Now, you're still not going to get that priority support, and you are not going to get a bar tab or any kind of drink premium. You still get your basic like sodas, juices, coffees, all that kind of stuff. But just know that, again, this is more like the current situation that they run their tickets on. All right, and so the next new one is going to be premium. This is where you get all of the extra perks that people are really excited for. But let's go through them. First things first is you're going to get premium Wi-Fi. Now, this allows you 2 devices to be hooked up at the same time per sailor, which is fantastic, because as somebody who works from remotely, basically I have an authenticator that I have to do on my phone but also on my computer at the exact same time, and so sometimes I do struggle to be able to authenticate. So this would allow for me to be able to authenticate without having to borrow somebody else's Wi-Fi, especially if I'm solo cruising. Pre-booking dining with this particular cruise rate, you are going to get 60 days beforehand, so that is 15 additional days before the next cruise category gets to book. So essentially, if you do this one and you're right on top of it, you're going to be able to get whatever restaurants you want to book at. Now, what's interesting about this one is that you not only get the opportunity to change the dates of your sailing, but every single person on the ticket, the names can be changed. So if for some reason sailor number 1 cannot make it, in the other categories, too bad, too sad. But in this category, you can actually completely change the names and you're not out that money. That's pretty nice. Now, another thing that the premium sailors get is they do get dedicated pre-voyage like support. So if anything is going on with your ticket or you have any issues, you're able to call a special line and they will cater to you. This is currently only available to suite guests, so this is being opened up to the premium. So essentially, it feels like you're a suite guest without having to be a suite guest. I mean, you don't get all the perks, but you get a lot of them.
Hey guys, Future Brittany here. I forgot to mention that you also get a $15 per person bar tab. Yeah, now you know. Back to the video.
Now, one thing that's really concerning to me in particular is the fact that they have decided to remove out the gratuities that was normally bundled in to the cruise fare. And the reason why I feel like this is kind of a very interesting choice, and I don't know why Virgin would have done it, aside from just wanting to be more competitive, is you can go in and you can now remove your tips and your gratuities. And to me, I don't know, it just doesn't quite make any sense, because Virgin swears that their staff is going to be paid the same, that this is not going to affect them. And I just have a hard time seeing how that is possible if people are going to be going in and removing the gratuities. Now, the gratuities are going to be $20 per person per day, so a little bit higher end. I can't exactly remember the other cruise lines, but they're somewhere between $14 and $18. I don't know, it's 2025 there. Who knows where our prices are at now, but it is like right on par, if not a little bit more expensive, but not anything too crazy. And again, this is for the Sea Terrace and below, and so suite guests are going to have that different price. So overall, nothing else really changes. It just feels very strange that they're going to be doing that this way, but it must be for some reason, you know, they don't wake up in the mornings and go, oh, we're bored, we're going to change our cruise, you know, our pricing today. But I have a feeling that it is to just try to stay competitive with the market. And right now, people do view Virgin Voyages as more expensive, even though honestly it's not. When you add up all of those things, it's really not more expensive, and their drink prices are like really good. So I'm interested to see, now that they're offering a premium drink package, if their per price drink for the drinks are going to be more expensive, or if it's going to all stay the same. Is the cruise fare gonna stay the same? Meaning, like, let's say a cruise was $1,500. Are they going to take out the gratuities and that's gonna be the new cruise fare plus the $20 per person per day fare? Or are they gonna keep it what it was when it included gratuities, and now you're also paying gratuities on top of whatever that cruise fare is? Does that make sense? It makes sense in my head. Anyways, I don't know, let me know down below. I am really interested to see how you guys feel about this. As somebody who is just absolutely obsessed with Virgin Voyages, I'm really hoping that this, you know, it just, that I'm not gonna feel like they're Carnival in the sense that they're nickel and diming. I really hope that they continue to find the way to stay Virgin, and that they're not trying to become or get in line with these other cruise lines. But anyways, we'll see. Let me know down below.